Of the Bismarck School Board. It's 5:15 on Monday, December 8th. I call this meeting to order. Welcome to those of you who are joining us both here and also online. You can find our agenda and follow along online under the School Board tab at bismarckschools.org. Dr. Scher, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hager?
Here.
Mr. Eastgate?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mrs. Peterson?
Here.
Ms. Presky?
Here.
Dr. Frosnett, would you lead us in the pledge? Item 1C, BPS mission, vision, and values. The BPS mission is to empower every learner to thrive. The BPS vision states, together, our strong relationships build inclusive, collaborative, and innovative environments that create agency and inspire a passion for learning, excellence, and discovery. BPS values are inclusion, excellence, innovation, leadership. You'll also find a link in the agenda to the BPS strategic plan. Item 2 is to adopt the agenda. What are the wishes of the board? Ms. Presky.
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Scher?
Eastgate?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Presky?
Yes.
Hager?
Yes. Item 3, focus on success. We've got 2 tonight. First one, the Indigenous education. Dr. Fosnot.
Yeah, good evening, board members. Nice to be with you. I'm kind of in a different location, but I'd like to take some time to acknowledge some outstanding aspects of the BPS team and publicly acknowledge the awards they've received this year. So I'd like to invite my Indigenous team up, and first of all, Mr. Donovan Lambert. So. You're probably well aware, each year we receive Johnson O'Malley funds, and that's a national organization that helps distribute federal funds for Indigenous ed programs throughout the nation. We're in Region 5, and Mr. Lambert, who is, how long have you worked for BPS, Donovan?
I was trying to count the years in the back. I think it's been like 7, 8 years, something like that. Yeah.
Well, the National Johnson O'Malley Association recognized that you are an exemplary educator, so he is the Region 5 Exemplary Educator of the Year. Congratulations. Thank you. You want to say anything?
You know, I wasn't going to say anything, but, you know, to me, you know, being in this role for 7, 8 years, you know, at first, when we first came in, it didn't immediately happen the way we thought it would happen. But I think just like anything else, it was building relationships with teachers, families, students, everybody throughout to really understand what we do. You know, and throughout this time, every year, I continue to say this, that it gets better because students, teachers know what our program does and what we can do and what we bring to the table. And, you know, every year our calendar continues to fill up more and more, and we're getting out into the community and doing things. So I owe this all to everybody in BPS, you know, and our team is here just to do our job and make those connections. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Welcome. And one award wasn't enough. We are also acknowledged, and I would like to bring Ms. Tommy Cimarosti, our Indigenous Education Director, up front because we are also, for Region 5, National JOM Award, acknowledged as the exemplary JOM program for the region. So congratulations, Tommy. Congratulations to all your people. Well done. Yeah, you're going to bring them all up?
Yeah.
I'll let you introduce, but congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
there you go. I'll
Thank
let you
you.
keep it.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm short. Good evening, everyone. President Hager and members of the board. I don't even really know where to start. Dr. Fosnot said, hey, will you come and talk at the board meeting? I said, absolutely. Wait, what? So I just wanted to say thank you so much for your support, for our parents' support, for our students' amazing efforts in the classroom, out of the classroom, in the communities. We're just so proud and thankful for what it is that we get to do every single day, for what these amazing individuals get to do every single day. So I just want to introduce them really briefly here. We have Chadwick Kramer, who oversees our Northwest feeder schools. Chadwick, you want to come say hello?
Hello, thank you.
That was quick enough. All right, and Donovan already spoke, but Donovan Lambert oversees all of our South Side feeder schools. So thank you, Mr. Donovan Lambert. And our newbie, this is Susie Gullis. She's not new to the district because she's actually been with the Monarch Project through United Tribes Technical College. We had an agreement, a practice going with Monarch Project for about 4 years and saw some incredible results. So we are trying to take what we've learned from that and emulate it and make it bigger and better every year, like Donovan had just mentioned. And then we have Anne Marie Dakota. You want to come up and say a couple of words, Anne?
Sure.
Great.
Thank you, everyone, for allowing us to be here. So I am new in this position. I'm the Curriculum and Instruction Specialist. Last year, I was a 6th grade math teacher, so totally different ballpark. But I just want to thank BPS, all the educators, the students, everyone here. Thank you so much for allowing this position to be a position. I'm learning a lot, and it's just overwhelming how welcoming and how much people want our support in the school system. So thank you.
Thank you. Amazing team. I just wanted to highlight a couple of quick things that you may or may not be aware of. I think that a lot of the reason why we got the award that we did this year was because of the groundwork that we did from the very baseline at BSEP all the way through our kids entering into college. We have a variety of different things going on. We have some connections going on with BSC, bringing a bunch of their students in and talking with our kids and making sure that they see their future is possible. That's one thing. Another thing is that we started our Indigenous Student Advisory team last year and continue moving that forward. And very briefly, I just wanted to have one of our students come up and speak a little bit, and she can answer any questions that you might have. So, Kalia Eagle.
Hello, my name is Kalia Eagle. I am a student at Bismarck High School, and I am a junior. So, this program really taught me about my culture, pretty much, and about how I can face life without feeling alone. I found most of my peers didn't know how, most of my peers didn't know about our culture. They didn't know how to pray. They didn't know all the changes in life, how to be a young lady, how to be a young man, to embrace your culture when I never saw, anyone embrace our culture as much as, this program did. I thought that there wasn't anything like in the school district that would point out whatever I was, so into, because I am a dancer. I am really into my culture, but then I found peers who are come from the same tribe or other tribes, other neighboring tribes that didn't know their culture, didn't know how to embrace who they are, because most of the time they just hid in the background. We weren't always, taught, to love our culture, and we weren't always given that opportunity to learn how we can grow as young people, how we can improve, telling other people to embrace ourselves and teach other people about us, because not many people know about our culture. Nobody knows how much we feel like we're unseen or unheard. But now I see that many of us can show ourselves and we could be proud of who we are. We showcased in front of the governor. I got to dance in front of the First Lady, all of them. I got to show people who I am. not just as a Native American girl, but as a person, because we are people too. And I was so glad to meet other people, other friends from other schools, because I just felt always so alone, and I didn't think that many other people were out there just like me. So I got to learn how to be a young lady. I had people and peers teach me different things, different traditions. I had elders teach me their ways, the ways that I should learn, and how I could become a good person.
For the sake of time and respecting everybody's time, thank you so much for allowing us to speak. And if you have any questions, I'll take them now.
Thank you. Board members, questions, comments? Mr. Eastgate.
No questions. Just wanted to say a great big thank you. Donovan was sharing at the beginning while accepting his reward about the amount of time that you guys have put in building relationships, right? It all comes back to that with so many things in BPS, but to say thank you to you guys too, because it takes your team to do that. I mean, Donovan mentioned the families and the students and the schools, but we know it's a lot of hard work and hours that you guys are putting in. So we just appreciate that you guys are willing to invest in that, because that's what you're doing. And I bump into you guys in the schools fairly often, and it's just fun to get to see the great work you've been doing and being consistent and always being there. So I appreciate that. Ms. Eagle, thank you so much for sharing today. It's not always fun and easy to approach the podium, and thank you for helping BPS and our whole community celebrate your culture and dancing, like you said, in front of the governor's office, and celebrate being a demon and being able to do those things as a BPS student. It brings so much more to our school district, celebrating all the cultures that we have, and definitely excited to celebrate what you bring. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, taking the time to show up here and present. And like Dan said, it isn't, Ms. Eagle, it's not always easy to stand up in front of everybody and speak and kind of share like you did. So thank you for doing that. Like Mr. Eastgate mentioned, thank you guys for all you do across the district. And I've bumped into Donovan a few different times doing different things across the community, and it's more than just in our school districts. It's really an impact you guys are having on our community. So thank you for all you guys do, and congratulations. Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Hager. Yeah, just one more comment. Thank you for being here and presenting this information. And Mr. Lambert and Ms. Simorowski, congratulations. Johnson O'Malley, that's a huge organization, and to be recognized like you have really is special. So sincerely, that's just wonderful. Some of the things I heard that I just really appreciate, BSC coming and talking to the kids, no matter the child or the learner, that vision casting is so powerful in the life of kids, right? And just to show them a path, I think that's just so awesome. And all of the wonderful things that are done every day in BPS through our Indigenous programming and finding peers. That's so wonderful what you talk about, Ms. Engel. It's neighboring tribes, how to embrace who they are. Nobody wants to feel unseen and unheard. So wonderful to raise your culture and your stature to where others see and appreciate it. So just everything you do, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B, fiscal year 25 financial audit. Dr. Fosnot or Dr. Scher?
I can start. So Mindy Piatz, who is a partner with Brady Martz, will be presenting our FY25 financial audit.
Thank you. Ms. Piatz.
All right. Good evening, board members. As Darren mentioned, I'm Mindy Piatz, a principal with Brady Martz, and I'll be going over the audit results and some financial highlights at a very high level with you tonight. We'll discuss the reports and the opinions that we issue, and then some financial highlights, and then go over required communications. So first off, the objective of an audit is to express an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are in accordance with GAAP or generally accepted accounting principles. Our audit is designed to obtain reasonable assurance, but not absolute assurance, that the financials are free of material misstatement. As part of conducting the audit, we do have our own guidelines that we have to follow by our professional standards, which are listed on the slide. So for the audit this year on the financial statements, we are expressing an unmodified opinion. That's the highest and best opinion that we can give on the financial statements, meaning that they are materially in accordance with GAAP. Additionally, we conduct our audit in accordance with government auditing standards, and so we issue another report on internal control and compliance. And again, that is an unmodified opinion or a clean report. No compliance or internal control issues were noted during the audit. The last report that we issue as part of the audit is for the single audit. And so this is where we do a separate audit, separate from the financial statement audit, testing the compliance of federal grants of the district. The 4 programs that we tested this year were the Child Nutrition Cluster, the Special Education Cluster, commonly referred to as IDEA, COVID-19 relating to the Capital Projects Fund, and then the Head Start Cluster. And based on our testing of those federal grants, there was one finding related to the Head Start program. It was related to the district is required to share credit card expenditure reports with the Policy Council. This isn't a new issue. This was already identified in a Department of Health and Human Services external review. But again, it happened during the same time period that we were conducting the audit, and so it's the same finding as it was already reported, and BPS already had taken corrective action that we could see that the finding was already corrected by the time the audit was being conducted. So no new item, just drawing to your attention again. Next, moving on to some financial statement highlights. So all this information is presented as of June 30th, 2025 with comparison to 2024. So you can see year over year how the district's doing. Overall cash and investments at June 30th were around 37.5 million. So that's up about 1.1 million from last year. Next, looking at revenues and expenses by fund. So for the general fund, expenses of about 214 million were offset by similar revenues of about 215 million by the district. And so the general fund had a positive 1.4 million increase to fund balance. The building fund was relatively comparable, revenues of 13.5 million offset by 12.1 million of expenses. And then you can see for non-major funds, again, revenues and expenses were very similar. The non-major funds include the activities fund, the CRA CTC fund, food service, TLC, and then the debt service fund. Next, looking at total general fund expenditures for the year. Again, those totaled about 214.1 million, and that represents about 12.87% of the general fund balance. So it's a healthy reserve that the fund balance has. The largest expenditures, obviously regular instruction, is about 52% or 112 million, followed by special ed, which constitutes about 20%, and then operation and maintenance at 9% or 16.9 million. Next, looking at fund balance and composition by the fund. This slide is really just to indicate that within each fund, there's a level of restrictions on how you can spend the money. So in the general fund, the bulk of that is unassigned and available for the district to spend how they need. Within the non-major funds, there are some designations, such as food service is specifically earmarked for food service. So that money can't be transferred to the general fund for uses. Another item to go over, future debt payments. So as of June 30th, you can see all the outstanding long-term liabilities or debt that the district does have. And then on the right-hand side is a schedule of the principal and interest payments that the district owes over the course of all these loans running out. In total, it's about $12 million annually for principal and interest payments of what is currently outstanding that the district owes. Next, looking at the general fund, budget versus actual. As you can see, revenues came in under budget by about 5.2 million, but similarly, expenditures also came in under budget by 5.9 million. And then lastly, as part of our audit, we are required to go over some items with those charged with governance at the completion of the audit. I just wanted to highlight that a new GASB, or Government Accounting Standard, was implemented related to compensated absences this year. It didn't have a material impact to the financials, but it does change how the district is accruing those items. As far as significant estimates included in the financial statements, there are pension liabilities, other post-employment benefit plan liabilities, the methods that they calculate depreciation, fair value of investments. And so we look at all of that as part of our audit, but none of those were deemed to be significant or super sensitive that we would need to do further testing on those. And then also as part of our audit, we didn't come across any kind of unusual transactions. We didn't have any kind of disagreements with management. There were no uncorrected misstatements. At the end of the audit, we do request representations from management, basically just inserting that they've given us full access to everything, everything's properly recorded. And then we're not aware that they've consulted with other auditors in regards to if they didn't like how we recommended an accounting standard or an opinion or anything like that. So with that, my information is on the screen if you have any questions or if anybody in the audience watching has questions after the fact. But with that, I just want to thank the district, thank Jeff and Darren and the accounting team. We asked for quite a bit of information when we come in and do the audit, and they're very timely and get us everything in order to get the audit done in a timely process and have it to you guys here tonight. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Pietz. Board members, questions, comments? Dr. Chair.
Thank you, President Hager. I just would like to personally thank Ms. Pietz. Her team, very professional, very thorough. And also, I feel very fortunate that BPS has the business office that it has. Notwithstanding its business manager, I think everybody on that team is top-notch, and that's the reason why we operate a very tight ship, good ship. I think that our petition audit proved that, and this, again, another unmodified audit just tells you that we're doing the right things, doing the right processes. So very proud of the team. So thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Scher, just to kind of add to what you said there, to thank you and your team, having been fortunate enough over the last couple of years to kind of work closely with you guys on a few different things. I know how seriously you guys take your jobs and how well you guys do, and this audit just kind of speaks to that. So thank you to your team as well. Don't see any other questions. Thank you, Ms. Pietz.
All right, thank you.
Item 4 is public comment. The board recognizes the central role parents play in the education of their children and supports active parent involvement in the education process. The board's practice of public comment reflects and aligns with policy BCBA and the spirit of its intent. For classroom issues, it's best to follow the chain of command: teacher, principal, assistant superintendent, superintendent. For district issues, please reach out to Dr. Fosnot. If you do speak tonight, we simply ask that you be responsible, be helpful, and be respectful. Our BPS students deserve to have adults model the expectations we have for them. Groups are urged to select one spokesperson. Individuals will be limited to no more than 4 minutes and will be notified with 30 seconds remaining to conclude their remarks. The board will not debate issues as presented, but will take such matters under advisement. With that, please stand and approach the podium if you wish to speak tonight. Okay, seeing no one, public comment is now closed. Item 5, monitoring district operations, OE6, financial administration. Dr. Scher.
Thank you, President Hager, members of the board. I think we had the probably the most powerful indicator that we're doing okay with OE6 just presented to us. So you'll see that's referenced a lot actually in this document. I would report that in a nutshell, we've collected all the money we need to collect. We've paid people in a timely manner, including our own staff or vendors. Payrolls have been very, very accurate, and we've complied with all the necessary reporting required by us. So as you can see, that every indicator is in compliance, which makes the report in compliance. And again, a lot of reference back to the audit report, which you had just had. So that's really it for OE6. I would answer any questions that the board may have on OE6.
Board members, questions, comments? Seeing none, thank you, Dr. Scher. With that, I would entertain a motion. Mr. Eastgate.
President Hager, I would move that we accept OE6 financial administration as in compliance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Seeing none, Dr. Scher.
Lee,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Prusky,
Yes.
Eastgate,
Yes.
Hager.
Yes. Item B, OE8, communication with the board. Dr. Fosnot.
Board members, I get the pleasure to share this report with you tonight. This is OE8, communicating with the board. All indicators are being reported to you as in compliance, but I would like to point out just a few things, just maybe for you or the watching public. Indicator 1 talks about timely communication with you. 49 weekly emails that go between my office and you. I missed a couple weeks in there. I don't know what holiday that was, but for the most part, I think I try to keep you informed of the weekly update that kind of keeps you abreast of the major happenings in the district. Indicator 3 within 8.2 also talked about the number of meetings that you have, and I think I'd like to point a highlight to that, the amount of time you invest to be a board member and help lead the district. That's 21 regular meetings, 1 retreat, 1 special meeting, and 4 workshops. It does not go without being noticed, at least from my office, that time commitment. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. 8.4, getting viewpoints from the community and taking those into your thinking or your decision making. I would put out, we have a wide plethora of surveys. We probably over-surveyed people in the last couple months, but all that ends up heading to you and you receiving that. I think that's a positive. And then also the excellence committees and your community forums, both are really good ways to do that. Testified last week in front of a tax transparency interim committee, talking about how to get more people in our community engaged in some of these discussions that affect the operations of the district. I would say we're doing well, but we can't also rest on our laurels. It's hard to get out, and it's a challenge to get out in the community and have real honest, earnest communication with groups, but I think that's what we're charged to do. So I think we're doing a good job, and there's more to come. The other one I thought I would hit is 8.4, Indicator 1, have you been provided adequate information from a variety of viewpoints? And again, I think those surveys, the excellence committees help do that for you. On the next page, 8.5, dealing with have you been provided advanced information about issues? I hope you are. I guess if there's ever time where you feel like you're not informed, particularly about things that end up in board meetings and you have to make decisions and make hard decisions about them, you need to let me know. But you rated that very positively this year, and I would like to say that that's well done. And then in regard to media coverage, I want to just give a shout out to Mr. Kuntz. Mr. Kuntz does a good job with that, and I think between he'll come over and say, Jeff, you need to get this to board members so they know it's going to hit the newsreel, hit the press, letting you know about that. So we don't want to surprise you with some of those big items that make it on the news. I got ahead of myself. 8.7 was about decision-making and having those information. So again, you rated yourself very highly on that and having that information. And then last one I'd like to hit is 8.9, Indicator 1, dealing with these monitoring reports, and hopefully you receive those in time enough. Usually give you 3 to 5 days where you can read through them, ask questions, call if you have questions that we can help with, but giving you that background information so you can make a solid decision as you review these and approve them. And on this one, again, I would say our recommendation is we are in compliance.
Thank you, Dr. Fosnot. Board members, Ms. Prusky.
Before I make a motion, I just wanted to say I really do appreciate all the things you do to communicate with the board, and especially that 8.5 related to significant events that might make it into the media, whether they do or don't. They're the issues that people will be talking about. And news travels fast and rumors travel fast in our system. And and it's one thing to have, you know, like a parent contact you and say, did you know about this? So it's really nice to be like up to date on anything that might be hitting their waves as well. So I really do appreciate those quick notes saying, hey, just so you know, this happened this morning at one of our schools. So I really appreciate that. I would move that we accept OE 8, communicating with the board, as compliant.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Seeing none, Dr. Scher?
Peterson,
Yes.
Bresky,
Yes.
Eastgate,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Hager.
Yes. Down to item C, GC6, the annual work plan. This will be the public reading of a GC6. The board will follow an annual work plan that includes continual monitoring and review of all policies, dialogue sessions with ownership groups, and activities to improve board performance. 1, the annual planning cycle will end each year in November to allow the superintendent to properly align internal operational systems and procedures. 2, the board's annual work plan for the next year will include A, scheduled dialogue sessions with ownership groups and persons whose viewpoints are considered helpful to the board. B, governance processes, improvement activities, including orientation and training of candidates and new board members in the board's governance process, and other discussions by the board about means to improve its performance, especially board member knowledge and skill. C, scheduled monitoring of all policies. And D, other events and activities that are part of the board's responsibilities and interest. That concludes the reading of GC6. Board members. Mr. Lee.
Sorry, I got nothing.
Okay, seeing no comment, I would take a motion to retain or amend. Mr. Eastgate.
President Hager, I would move that we retain GC6 annual work plan as stated.
And I would second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Scher.
Bresky,
Yes.
Eastgate,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Hager.
Yes. I would look, Mr. Eastgate.
President Hager, I would move that we are in compliance for GC6 annual work plan.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Scher.
Eastgate,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Bresky,
Yes.
Hager.
Yes. Brings us down to matters reserved for board action. Board members, school visits. I know we've got a couple. Ms. Presky, are
Yeah.
you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
you bet.
All yours.
All right, thanks. So I visited Horizon Middle School with Dr. Sean Oban. And the first stop that we made that day was to the music wing. And they really talked about the huge interest in the music program there at Horizon. They had just finished their 6th grade musical this fall and had 85 kids in it. And are planning their 7th and 8th grade musical in the spring, and we're talking about how much interest there already is in from students wanting to sign up for that, and just almost having to think about how do we even have a space that's big enough for these events, because it's filling up for the practices and also for the productions. So really, cool to see and hear about that. And then the other program I really wanted to highlight is their EL program. And I've always had such an interest in this just because I think we play such an important role in integrating these new students to America, but into our community as well, and really giving them the skills and the tools that they need to thrive in education in this new country to them. And they have 70 students that are in their program from all over. They speak French, Spanish, Haitian, Ukrainian. I mean, almost everything you can imagine. I really give kudos to those teachers. I can't even imagine what that is like. And I visited with one, Jess Naslund, who had just a phenomenal story, new to teaching, but shared with me her experience related to being over in Africa through efforts with the military. And she herself went to school to learn Swahili. And so she knows what it's like to be from a different country and learn a new language. And so I think that brings her to a whole different level where she can use that experience to her advantage and really be a lot more relatable. So I thought that was phenomenal. I really do like how Horizon's laid out. I toured it before, and the way they have the pods situated in the wings with the lockers and collaboration spaces, it really does show like how the age of our buildings and the new ways of designing them is great for our students to be able to have spaces to collaborate and to work within each other in a certain area. As far as we talked about busing and the bells, bus transportation, Dr. Oban said it's been, it's gone over very well. It had an immediate impact. Kids before were waiting 40 minutes for a bus, and now they're waiting maybe 5 minutes. And as far as the bell time, he said the teachers especially are good with it. I'll keep this visit report short and sweet, but overall it was a good day to visit Horizon.
Thank you, Ms. Prisky. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, President Hager. I met with Principal Tony Fladlin at Highland Acres, home of the Hawks. Had a great conversation about his transition from Moses. And we just talked about, while it's never easy to leave a team, kids, parents, and colleagues you've worked with closely for many years, he shared that the change has been refreshing and positive for him personally. And I think we can kind of see when you go from a bigger school like that to two smaller schools, you leave one set of challenges for another, but he's made the adjustment really well. He has learned to appreciate the unique value of our small neighborhood schools and the sense of community they create, which I thought was kind of cool. Both Highland Acres and Roosevelt are one-section elementaries with very tight-knit staffs. Highland Acres has a young staff, but he says they feel very well supported, and he noted that their vital survey results were exceptional, which I thought was awesome. Even without grade level counterparts at those schools in the same building, he felt the small size fosters strong bonds among everybody, that they really do all become tight, which is, it's very unique, those two schools. He's made it a priority being, this is his second year, but he's made it a priority to be present in both buildings, and I asked him, how do you do that? Not at once, but present in both buildings and listen closely to staff concerns. So they're working through the new Marzano evaluation system. He's really excited about it. He feels it provides more timely and constructive feedback to his staff, which is very, very important. Both schools have been intentional about relationship building across grade levels. Highland Acres, I thought this was neat. Highland Acres utilizes teams, which we often hear, right? But Roosevelt organizes themselves into cabins, which is very fitting for Rough Riders, right? So it was kind of cool. Principal Fladlin is proud of Highland Acres consistently their high test scores and what he considers are very stable classrooms. It's also, as we toured, you could tell it's also a unique building structurally. And I don't know why I've never picked up on this before, but each classroom has its own resource room and bathroom, reducing hallway traffic and disruptions. So just an interesting side note, if we could do things like that again, it would be great, wouldn't it? But those days have long since passed us. Highland Acres and Roosevelt, they also share not just a principal, but a social worker, a counselor, and an instructional coach. Roosevelt, on the flip side, has a more seasoned staff. Again, they're very close. He speaks very highly of their relationships, and they operate their own after-school program, which I thought was interesting. We talked about that for quite some time. He feels there's a number of benefits to that. He realizes not everybody can do that, but he believes student behaviors have improved because of it, and the activities create an environment where kids they're at school, but they're not in school. They have a lot of puzzles, games, and rec time. So it's worked out really well for that particular school. You can tell when you tour the building that Roosevelt older and it's in need of some updates. So deferred maintenance remains a concern as the years pass, but it's an issue shared by many of our older facilities. Still, the staff makes the best of what they have. So I had a great conversation with Principal Flaidland and just his transition from a larger school to two smaller schools and the challenges that he faces now and the challenges he left behind. So you can see the experience he had at Moses definitely he felt prepared him very well for his next gig, and he's enjoying it immensely. So overall, it was a great visit to two of our unique neighborhood schools, and the values of these smaller buildings is unmistakable, and I truly enjoyed my time there.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I think that's it for school visits tonight. So that brings us down to the consent agenda. What are the wishes of the board?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Scher?
Lee,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Presky,
Yes.
Eastgate,
Yes.
Hager.
Yes. Down to superintendent's report, budget projections.
Yeah, I'm going to hand this off to Dr. Scher. It's that time of year we start looking out to the future, and so he's created our first budget projection. So thank you, Dr. Scher.
Those M&M fans out there, guess who's back? Come on, that was good. Okay, so before you, President Hager, members of the board, we have the budget projections. So this is a culmination of things we know and things that we have to make assumptions on. Some things that we don't know. We don't know what our local valuation is going to be next year. However, we do know that it's going to be capped, so we can get pretty close with that. But we don't know what the new growth is going to be, so we can kind of get close based on some assumptions. We know what we did for healthcare, but our healthcare plan, you'll notice on the assumptions that our plan year is January to December, but our fiscal year, of course, is July to June. So we essentially have to pick up the half part of one, then we're actually predicting hold flat for a year and then an increase again, so we have to pick up the first part of 2 years from now. As you can see from the budget projections that we are projecting actually to be pretty healthy. I would say that right now our ending fund balance is projected to be at 8.9 and 8.7. As we know from experience, that hopefully will be higher. This year, for example, we have a goal of 9.6. We're projecting 9.1. My hope is that we'll actually get close to that goal. The board does want to get us to 10% by 27-28, so that's something that we'll continue to work on. The other thing, as far as things that we do know, as to date, we have a few staffing things, pretty minor because they're probably offset by revenue. For example, Virtual Academy, we have a position, 2 positions actually in there. Those would be offset by revenue that we would generate from students. So that is the mid-year budget projection. This was timely, as Dr. Fosnot said. We did present in front of the interim committee on financial transparency. This is one of the things, of course, that we highlighted. We try to share a lot. Our website's full of things. You will see this again. We'll do a probably end of May type projection so that it's in time before we make decisions on next year's budget. So with that, I would answer any questions on the budget projections in front of you.
Board members, questions, comments? Not seeing any. Just a quick comment from you, Dr. Scher. I appreciate you guys putting these together as early as you do, knowing there's a lot of variables and a lot of things that aren't necessarily in here that could potentially be missing, but at least lets us have a roadmap of kind of seeing what path we're on going forward, knowing that there are going to be some changes as we go. So I appreciate you and your team putting this together. Thank you.
One more disclaimer. I did make some assumptions based on levies, which of course that is the board's decision, but I just made some general, so that, you know, depending on what the board does decide to do with some of those, would change this. But again, it's early on and you have it in front of you where you could say, well, we're going to do that a little different, or you're spot on.
Understood. Thank you, Dr. Scher. With that, all agenda items have been considered. I declare this meeting adjourned.